there was some comments made by the racist protesters, which I think the best way to say that wound up with some of the younger elements of those that participated in the anti-fascist movement, and there were disturbances. I think over 30 arrests were made, if according to the West Midlands Police. I think this has all come about really because there's been this sort of issue, this racist issue, and this racist movement kind of developing over the last. Well, it's been around for quite some time. The resurgence has really happened leading up to the European elections that took place in June this year, where the British National Party was successful in getting 2 members of European Parliament elected, one of them being their leader, Nick Griffin. I think there's been a increase in their recruitment to members of the BNP, and the sympathisers of the BNP have come out and voted against the mainstream political parties. I think it's a very delicate situation at the moment for all those who believe in this peaceful, love and acceptable society. Have to come out and really work against this racist agenda. United Against Fascists did come into Birmingham last Saturday to protest against this movement, but this resurgence of the far right movement will really affect all members of society, all members of the community, but it will also affect private hire drivers. I said this the other day at this public meeting. If some racist thugs wanted to carry out some sort of action, violent action against a member of the ethnic minority communities, one of the easiest ways is they can do this is by phoning a taxi from a phone box, driving, getting picked up by a driver who's on his own or her own. 3-4 of them jump in this vehicle, can take this driver to more or less anywhere, down a quiet country road, can do what they want to this driver. If there's 3-4 of them, it is difficult to take on a number of people, and they've carried out. And I'm not by no means linking this to Mohammed Arshan, because as of yet we haven't any evidence to suggest that was a racist attack. But you've got to take this into context. Private hire drivers, and it's really a need of the hour to discuss the safety of private hire drivers because of some of these racist attacks. Now, drivers are coming to me and saying that the racist abuse and racist attacks against them have increased alarmingly in the last 12 months. And this is all linked into this resurgence of the far-right movement. We've seen what they did in the June elections. They'll do the same whenever the general elections call. It's important we defeat them, this far-right movement, through democracy, by ensuring that we vote for the mainstream political parties, and also by carrying out peaceful protests. Now, I don't want to comment on whether last Saturday was a wise idea to have, for the West Midlands Police to allow 2 separate marches to take place, one a racist march and one a non-racist march. So the West Midlands Police need to look at how they police such issues, and I'm in regular contact with them, and I know the community activists and community leaders are also in contact with the police on this issue. Now, one of the things that the police do have is this bill that was passed a few years ago around inciting against racial hatred. Now, that is a legislation.
I'm just going to go to a live call and come back to that.
Thank you.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
जी आपका नाम?
Raja Parvez from On Time Cars Limited.
Okay, your comments?
Would like to say hello and assalamu alaikum to Waseem and all of you. First of all, thanks to Noor TV, who broadcasting our program concern us, private hire driver and private hire trade. And thanks to Waseem, he is the voice of 5,400 private hire drivers. Not only one Waseem, 5,000 drivers are behind him to support him and raise our concern, and he's our representative. And I would say thanks to Salma Yaqub, Sister Salma Yaqub. She called a meeting and she got a sympathy for our trade and what happened to us regarding Arshad being murdered brutally. So we thanks to Salma Yaqub. Also, Liam Byron raised some concern in Parliament regarding the private hire issue. Also, Mr. Khalid Mahmood, he supporting us. So we thanks to both MPs and Salma Yaqub. And as Waseem is talking to you, raising the concern about the unity, but we're not scared of any unity, no, because we are unite for our issues, and Waseem is our voice. So thanks to Noor TV to broadcast our concern. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your call.
Thank you, sir.
Now, we were talking about the tensions that took place on Saturday, and you talk about defeating this in a democratic way. Now, what do the ethnic minority communities have to do to tackle such problems or such issues within the communities?
I think the ethnic minority communities, what we've got here is, the one big thing that concerns me about last weekend was the events happened on the Saturday. On the Sunday, if you read some of the Sunday papers, especially those who are sympathetic towards the far-right movement, you had pictures, you had comments, you had all sorts of issues raised that Muslim youngsters, young people in Birmingham are attacking police and all sorts, and the pictures showed it. We've got to understand here, how to act strategically. Right? It was fine for Unite Against Fascism to arrange peaceful protests. It's fantastic in a way that we've got these activists who are willing to do that. And a lot of them are not from the ethnic minority community. A lot of our supporters through these organizations are white British people. It's about how we behave at these protests. Right?
Yes, that's important.
When one young person was in Getsub, and there was the burning of the Union Jack. Right, and that's absolutely disgraceful. We live in this British society with British Muslims, and we should be proud of it. And burning the Union Jack doesn't prove nothing.
It's also authority. अपनी ज़बान च भी बाई सकने हो, please.
ज़रूर बासा मैं समझना कि असां की जिले असां इन जगह जाने हैं जिथे रेसिस्ट ने खिलाफ जिले असां कैंपेन करने हैं असां की सोची समझी था अपने एक्शंस किन्ने चाहिए असां नौजवान जेडे हो रहे हैं वो जाहिर बात है जवानी विच खून विच सोना गर्म होना असां की काफ़ी गुस्सा भी होना कि लोग ये करें लेकिन जिले एक बंदे ने एक्शंस होने हैं जिस तरह उन्हें उस तरह इस मुल्क ना जिस मुल्क ना असां ने बड़े गहरे तल्लक न असां मैं इत्थै नहीं पैदाइश लखा ने साहब इत्थै मुसलमान पैदा हुए इत्थै असां रहने असां एक तरीके नाल कारी बनी गया तो उठी तो असां इस मुल्क ना झंडा जिला उन्हें सारेआ मैं समझना ये बड़ा एक गलत इमेज देना है मुसलमानों बारे तो इत्थै जेह्ड़े अखबारां जिन्हां इत्थै एक एजेंडा मीडिया विच भी है जेह्ड़े मुसलमानों के खिलाफ है असें ये गल तस्लीम करनी चाहिए वो इन्हां गल्लां की तकीत है और ज़्यादा बरासन असां खिलाफ इत्थै जेह्ड़े अंग्रेज़ जेह्ड़े ठीक ठाक असां की इसलै चाहने न वो भी असां खिलाफ होई जासन असां ये होनियां चाहिए डेमोनस्ट्रेशंस ये जलसे जुलूस होने चाहिए इन्हां लोगों ने खिलाफ जेह्ड़े मुसलमानों के खिलाफ न कालिया बंदियां ने खिलाफ लेकिन ये असां की ऑर्गेनाइज करना पैना है और हर एक बंदा जेह्ड़ा इन्हां विच शरीक होना है वो अपना टाइम देते शरीक होना है और एक एजेंडा होना है असां एजेंडा क्लियर होना चाहिए कि असां इस मुल्क रहने जिस तरह नूर टीवी ना एजेंडा है लव पीस एंड हार्मनी इस तरह तो असां की होना चाहिए असां मुसलमानों की जिस तरह हिदायत दी गई है कि तुसां की किस तरह बिहेव करना चाहिए इस तरह तो करना चाहिए जिस तरह हूँ सैटरडे होया है ज़्यादातर लोग जेह्ड़े उत्थे गए सन जेह्ड़े इन्हां रेसिस ने खिलाफ सन बड़े अच्छे तरीके नाल उन्हें बड़े इज्जतदार तरीके नाल उन्हें उत्थे बिहेव किया हुआ लेकिन जेह्ड़े चंद बंदे सन जिन्हें उठी तो वो झंडा सारेआ या किसी अंग्रेज़ां की उन्हें अटैक किया उन्हें पूरी कम्यूनिटी की नुकसान दिता तो ये जो प्रोटेस्ट सी ये फ़ायदा होने तो फ़ायदा इसमें काफ़ी होया लेकिन नुकसान भी असें तकना चाहिए
मगर there was a time we were known as the Asian community as a peaceful community or the Muslim community as a peaceful community आज वो दौर आई गया when it's the opposite मगर जिस आई protest take place करने within the UK now how should I'm going to ask you to emphasize how should the youth और खास तौर पर जेह्ड़े बड़े जेह्ड़े बुजुर्ग